All right, welcoming you to Cardio Flow today. I'm so grateful to be here, especially after yesterday's sleep disturbance and fatigue webinar that we had with some wonderful clinical psychologists who study the relationship between cancer and fatigue and sleep issues. And surprise, surprise, physical activity came up. And yes, I saw a bunch of you there yesterday. I was so glad to see you. We talked about physical activity being a very helpful intervention for cancer-related fatigue. And the doctors listed a few different types of exercise that were found to be effective. Yoga and Tai Chi, walking, multidisciplinary sessions incorporating self-paced exercise. And I think that kind of describes what we're doing in our cardio flow class. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you're doing it at your own pace, but it is in a guided format. Aerobic exercise, strength training, and cardio exercise. So we're trying to give you a little bit of a lot of that in our cardio flow class. And we've always been asking ourselves, how does this help with my fatigue if I experience it? So I'd like to leave you with that idea. If you're feeling on the tired side today, we'll kind of check in at the end and take note of that energy level. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move back. Make sure that you have just some water today. We're not going to work with any hand weights or any therabands. We're just going to fly free today. I'm wearing my sneakers for a little extra support because we're going to be doing some very, very low impact movements. So getting settled for a moment, I'd like to warm up head to toe first. We're going to stand up, do some standing movements, and warm down, and maybe even recline at the end if we need to. So let's get started just with some big arm sweeps. I'm lifting my arms up, and I'm bringing my arms down. I might try to inhale as I lift up. Exhale as I swoop down. I'm going to move at my own pace. I'm going to modify however I need based on whatever I'm experiencing in the joints or in my breath or in my energy levels. Breathing in as I lift. Breathing out as I relax down. And I might try to hit about 10 of these arm sweeps in a row to kind of get myself up and at 'em, as my dad likes to say. Now let's take one more together. Big breath in, big breath out. And I'm just going to relax my hands in my lap for a moment and move my head from side to side. So we're just warming up for our cardio flow. We'll do some of our cardio flow movements, just these sort of simple, repetitive movements in a seated posture, and then we'll move to a standing posture. But I want to hit some of the areas where we experience tension. So just moving the head from side to side. All right, and then we're coming back to center, and I'm going to stretch my right arm out. And I'm just going to take a lot of space between my fingers and then make a fist around my knuckles, drop that fist down. So I'm breathing in, lifting up, spreading my fingers wide. Breathing out, dropping my closed fist down. That's good. One more like that. Knuckles under. And then I'm going to keep my arm lifted and tilt my left ear away from my arm, circling my palm. Finding some breaths here. And as we were talking yesterday in our fatigue webinar, I shared that breath is the secret ingredient. It really is the secret ingredient. Bringing that arm down little by little. And maybe tucking the arm behind the back. And you could just take a moment, maybe spin the chin down, take another breath here. And come on back up. And we're going to stretch that left arm out, widening out the fingertips, widening out the fingers, and then curling the fist under. That's good. Inhaling, lifting and spreading. Exhaling, curling it under. Beautiful. And one more. You've got it. Very nice. And lifting that, keeping that hand lifted and tilting that right ear to the right shoulder. I'm going to circle my palm. Take some easy breaths. In our yoga practice, the word prana means both breath and life force. So it follows that using my breath as a means by which to increase my feeling of vitality, that just makes sense. Tucking my arm behind my back. You got it, Marty. And spinning the chin down, taking one big breath here. All right, and then while I'm here working with my arms, I'm just going to do a couple seated bicep curls without weights. So this will give me an opportunity to really focus on that contracting of the muscle and moving my mind to my bicep muscle. Some of you have been practicing with Sharon's strength training video, and I can see those biceps popping from here. You know who you are. She's really good to keep us on track, and we're going to be doing more with her coming up in a couple weeks. Cardio and strength. All right, that's beautiful, friends. Maybe one more on each side. And then I'm opening my arms out to the sides, maybe wiggling my fingers, and I might bring my arms back a little bit and just lift my heart, arching my back. Big breath in. Exhale. And then I'm just going to swoop my arms across my body, one arm on top and then the other. Just kind of juicing up the shoulder joints a little bit. Swinging the arms. All right, and then let's go ahead and take a little bit of a wider stance. A little bit of a wider stance. And I'm going to lift that right arm up and over, keeping my feet and my seat rooted down. Traveling back to center. Trying the other side. Now, if you have shoulder issues, right, you can modify this however you need to. Moving from side to side a couple more times. At your own pace, just exploring what this feels like for you and where you can feel the breath in your body. Beautiful. One more on each side. Going at your own pace. Always, always, always. All right. I'm going to hold on to my chair and step my feet in and step my feet out. Stepping my feet in and out at my own pace and keeping my core engaged. And sometimes when I do core exercise work, I really forget to breathe. So you might find the breath can travel more to like the rib cage or the back as opposed to the belly. Walking in and out, and if you feel like you get out of breath, you can stop at any time. Next time we come in, we're going to stay here, and I'm going to stretch just my right leg out. Heel on the earth. The heel's on the earth, and I'm going to pump my foot down and lift my foot up. So just taking some foot pumps here. Still noticing my breath. All right. Great to see you, Beth. We're just doing some foot pumps here and then switching it up when we're ready. Left foot straight out, heel on the earth, pumping that foot as far down as you can go, as far back as you can go. Good. And then I'm going to come back and take my arms out to the sides. Walk my feet out a little bit. So I'm in this sort of goalpost posture. I'm going to see how it would feel to lift one elbow towards one knee and then the other elbow towards the other knee. And my body wants to sort of lean all over the place when I do this. I'm going to see if I could keep my torso fairly stabilized. Again, with the core work, we forget to breathe. So I'm going to see if I could bring my breath into the equation. And if you want to go faster, if you want to go slower, this is a self-paced exercise, right? Self-paced. Right? Maybe you want to get some extension. Maybe you want to extend the leg and the arm while keeping that core really strong. There's a lot you can do seated in a chair to get the blood flowing, to get the lymph fluid pumping. And that lymph system is something that does not have a pump of its own. We have to do the work to get the lymph fluid to move. And that could be done through massage. That could be done through movement and compression as well. One more on each side. All right, I'm taking a little breath here. So I might take a breath, sigh out the mouth, and notice what part of my body still feels like it needs a little warm up. And for me, it feels like kind of my back and my torso. So I'm going to do a little bit of circular motion here. So I've got a little wider stance, circling the torso. But if there's another part of the body that feels like it would need your attention, you can self-pace, right? You got it. Moving the other direction. Little bit of movement in a lot of places. And then we're coming back slowly to center. All right, and then I'm walking my feet back. And I'm going to make a decision here. Is today a day where I feel like I could stand up and do a few standing poses, a few standing movements? And I'm going to make that determination and come to stand. And if today's not the day, I'm going to sit unapologetically, choosing to sit if that's what's best for me. Maybe I take a sip of water either way. Oh, and we have a puppy in the class who just did the sweetest little stretch. What a nice stretch. I think that in honor of this beautiful puppy over at Lois's house, we will do a stretch too. So I'm going to take my hands to the back of my chair or a high countertop or even the wall. And I can take a few steps back. And I could keep my head lifted if I experience glaucoma or vertigo, right? Or I might feel okay to bring my gaze down. I'm looking for a stretch to the back of my legs. And maybe, that's great, Gordon, maybe a little bit of stretch space in the spine. Finding your breath. And making your way up. Nice and slow. I'm going to step my right foot forward and bring my left foot back at a little angle, and I'm bending into my right knee and straightening my right knee a few times. Right, so Carol, you're going to care for yourself here however you need to. Anybody with knee issues, bending and straightening this right knee. And I might feel a little stretch at my left hip. So I'm going to stay here with my right knee bent and maybe walk my right foot to the right. So I have a really nice wide base. And then we're going to get into a little flow. So maybe it's one arm, maybe it's both arms. But I'm going to lift both arms up, straighten the front leg, and bring the hands down to the midline of the body. Breathing in, lifting up, straightening the leg. Breathing out, sinking down. We're going to do 3 more. You do this at your own pace. Feel that strength in that left glute. And one more. Beautiful. And then I'm coming out of it. I'm going to straighten my legs and shorten my stance. And I'm just putting the weight into my right foot. And I'm just going to kick up my left leg a little bit. And I'm going to do that maybe about 10 times. I'm really juicing up the lower back here. I'm juicing up my left glute muscle. And really, I've got to train a little bit to do Sharon's video when she has a balance challenge where she's doing this opposite arm. So you could reach the opposite arm with no support, right? And I find that a little scary. So maybe there's one more. Maybe you want to hold for a millisecond and then release it back down. In between sides, we're going to walk a little bit. I'm walking in place. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Doesn't matter how fast you go, doesn't matter how high you bring your knees. I'm breathing. And I might even move my mind to what feels like the center of my body and feel that stability. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back and stepping my left foot forward, right foot back, bending and straightening the left knee to whatever degree feels safe. And I've got a nice wide stance here, so left foot to the left, and I'm going to work on inhaling, lifting both arms, straightening the knee, exhaling, sinking down. Right? If you feel wobbly, widen your base. Breathing in, breathing out for 3 more. Inhale, exhale, squeeze that right glute. Good, and you got it. 1 more. Sinking down. All right, moving to our next shape, where we have straightened legs, a shorter stance, our weight in that left foot, and we're kicking up the right leg carefully. Kicking up the right leg, seeing how that feels. And we might stretch the left arm out as we do this, if we feel safe. Right? Maybe this doesn't feel right for you and you can do our stretch instead, our back stretch. And I'm going to shoot for about 10 of these. And I'm really juicing up the right glute muscle and the lower back on the right side. I might feel like I could hold for a millisecond. You got it. That's beautiful. And then I'm coming down and I'm coming into my stretch again. 1 more. Let's take 3 breaths in this stretch. Breathing in and out at your own pace. That's good. Head lifted if you've got glaucoma. And then I'm walking myself up nice and slow. And I'm coming to stand. All right. So let's go ahead and come up onto the tiptoes. I'm holding onto my chair. And I'm going to float down nice and slow. I'm actually going to see how slowly I can float down. And I might want to involve 1 or both arms, if that felt good. And if you stay seated in your chair, you could do the arm movements. Maybe it's 1, maybe it's both. How slowly can you go down? You got it, Judy. Holding on if you need it. So good. My goodness, what an incredible improvement I see in those of you who regularly attend these classes. It's incredible. I'm going to take 1 more float. I love it. So graceful, my friends. I'm going to take a little wider stance, and I'm going to flow from side to side, just like we did when we were seated. As if I were reaching up and kind of grabbing a rope, letting that rope pull me a little higher. You got it. Both legs are strong. 1 more on each side. All right, and then I'm coming back, and I'm going to walk it out again. Opposite arm, opposite leg. And Marty, I might be coming to Stewart. So I'm envisioning maybe a walk on the beach with you, my friend. Wouldn't that be amazing? All right, walking in place. And Lois, I will be within 1.5 hours away from you. So if it works for the schedule, I might come visit you too. Oh my gosh, it's on my list. I've got to get out to California. And then Gordon, you're just going to have to come to Seattle for the Ed Forum for your birthday. All right. And now I'm just going to stop, anchor down, take a breath. And I'm going to get into some cross crawl again, opposites. And I'm going to start with my hands down low. I'm not even going to bend my elbows. My hands are down low. And I'm going to move my arms up a little bit. So maybe they're about rib cage height. And I could go slow here. Cross crawl, opposite arm, opposite leg. Now my arms might come up a little bit higher. Breathing. And going back to mid-level. You got it. And all the way down. And stopping and taking a breath. Okay, I'm going to bend my knees and bring my hips back. And I can really feel my glute muscles working here. I want to feel my glute muscles working here. If I don't feel my glutes working, I'm going to isometrically push my feet apart and see if I can maybe turn on a few more muscles. And go really gentle here if you have knee issues, or you could even skip this one and try something else that feels good. I'm going to bring my arms at my sides, like I'm ready to swoop up, inhaling, lifting. I might even come up onto my tiptoes and come back down, arms coming down too. Breathing in, lifting up, maybe tiptoes. Exhale, come down. Just stay safe if you feel wobbly. Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out, coming down. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Good. I might take 3 more of these. Whole body movements, getting my energy up. Going as quickly or as slowly as feels best for me. You got it, Larry. Beautiful. Last one. Sinking down and then coming back up. I'll just take a little bit of a wider stance. I'm going to let my arms swing for a moment. And then I might take a little sip of water if I need one. All right, you guys are doing great. Take a little bit of a wider stance. I'm going to bring my toes and my knees out to the sides like Charlie Chaplin. And bring my arms out to the sides. Sink down into my knees just a little bit. If you feel wobbly here, you can take one hand to a chair. I'm going to pull my belly towards my spine. And as I inhale, I'm going to reach for the stars, straighten my legs. As I exhale, I'm going to sink down, maybe just a little bit. Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out, sinking down, right? If this exacerbates knee issues, keep the toes and the knees in the same line. You could even change your stance, or you could avoid bending altogether. All right, you got it. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, maybe you sink a little bit deeper. Good. 2 more. Last one. And then I'm coming up and bringing my toes to point straight forward and taking a few hip circles. All right, and then I'm getting ready to get into a fight here. I've got my fists and my knees are bent just a little bit. And I'm going to punch to the right and punch to the left. You got it, Carol. Can't keep up with you, friend. Right, I'm not using my weights today, but of course, if you had weights and you wanted to use them, you could always challenge yourself. Maybe my punch goes a little lower. And maybe my jab goes way down low. And I'm going to move midline to a higher punch. Down to midline again. And down low one last time. All right, and then I'm going to stop for a moment and give myself a little stretch. I'll bring my right arm straight out in front. Scooping underneath, drawing the arm across the body. Keeping that shoulder nice and low. And taking a breath. Oh yeah, I forgot to breathe. And then switching sides. Left arm out, scoop underneath. Draw that arm across the body, keeping that shoulder nice and low. Big breath here. And then releasing the arm down. And we'll get into a little bit of balance work now. So if you're seated, you could imagine yourself doing some of these things. Or you could decide to try them now or later. I'm going to start with my feet together. And with my feet together, I'm already challenging my balance a little bit. So I'm going to maybe keep my hand on my chair and see how it would feel to close your eyes for a moment. Just closing your eyes, feeling your feet on the earth. Right? And if you feel wobbly with the eyes closed, me too. A little bit. Opening the eyes and taking a moment to create a little space for myself so that I can walk my imaginary balance beam today. So I'm starting with my feet together and I'm going to take my arms out to the sides like a tightrope walker. If I feel really challenged today by my balance, I don't feel safe doing this, I could do this in place just with one foot in front of the other and stay there, hold there. Or I might feel like I could walk heel to toe, straight ahead. And I might feel like I could walk heel to toe backwards, right? And I'm gonna just do whatever I need to do to stay as safe as I can here. Okay, so I'm challenging myself to walk the balance beam. And as I do this, I'm gonna notice my core. Notice my breath. And I could keep my gaze affixed to one or two things that are not moving in my room. And if you really need to look down at your feet, you can look down at your feet, but I'm going to try not to. And I'm going to try to take in with my peripheral vision as much as I can. All right, you guys are doing great. And we'll come back and meet each other in the middle here. All right, so I once did a balance workshop and I played music, and on that little piece I played the song I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash. And I have an actual practice balance beam, which is like 2 inches up off the ground. And it was so much fun. I really want to do that again sometime with you guys. Hopefully in person. Maybe on that cruise. We can do a balance workshop on the cruise. Wouldn't that be so much fun? All right, so a little bit more balance here. Before I do, I'm gonna keep my flow going. So I'm gonna keep my heart rate up. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Maybe you're getting a little higher. Maybe those knees are lifting up a little bit higher. And rather than going faster, maybe I'm going a little bit slower. And this is where I sort of have to turn on some of my balance, my proprioception, my internal compass, etc., to keep me safe and stable. And then I might even be freezing with one leg in the air, if that would feel safe. I can always hold on. I can always do this seated. You got it. All right, and then we're going to try something really fun called tuning fork. My tuning fork is putting my weight in, let's say, the right foot, and lifting the left leg and both arms, and then placing it back down. Weight in the left foot, lift the right leg, both arms, and place it back down. Maybe you go faster. Maybe you feel like you could hold for a millisecond. One more on each side. You got it, that's beautiful. All right, and then I'm going to actively practice standing on one leg, but I'm going to get my support ready nearby because I want to really challenge myself with this. So take a little bendy bounce. That's good. Pretty soon we're going to sit down, wind down. This will probably be our last standing pose. So I'll take my weight into my right foot, lift my left leg up, hug it in. Little bendy bounce to that right leg. Zipping up your core. Right? And I may flow a little bit here. I might wobble a little bit here. And that's fine. Maybe I'm working towards taking both my hands off the chair. Maybe I am needing a break and I can take a stretch instead. All right, when you're ready to come out of it, kick out that right leg. And we'll switch it up. Weight in the left foot. Bendy bounce, pick it up, pick up the right leg, hug it in, zip up your core, and work towards finding your edge. Right? We're purposefully seeking this wobble point so we can improve. And we get those gold stars every single time we wobble and weave. That's good. Sometimes the left side is harder for me and for those who are right hand dominant. One more breath and kick it out. All right, friends. So I'm going to step to the sides now. Stepping to the side. Maybe my arms want to do a little swing. Side stepping. To the left, to the right. Stepping. Maybe there's a little hip bump there. And now we're basically dancing. All right, I'm going to come back to center, step up, step back, up and back. Arms are swinging, up and back, up and back. And now I'm going to the side and the side. Arms are swinging, side and side. Stepping, stepping, and front and back, and front and back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a big wide stance. Bring your arms out to the sides and loosely twist your torso from side to side. Make any other movements your body's asking for in a standing posture. That's like the steam train horn pull. Yeah, I like that one. Dance party time. So coming to sit, your own pace, nice and slow. Take a sip of water on the way. You guys did so well today, and I did better than I thought I was going to based on this little cold I have. And Carol, you kept up with us the whole time despite recovering from COVID. She's on like day 7 or something. So let's stretch it out a little bit. I'm just going to cross my right ankle over my left knee, or modify so that this feels like an amenable shape. That's good, Betty Ann. Just digging in there, maybe taking a massage to the bottom of that right foot or to the calf on the right leg. You got it, Lois. That is just adorable. She's doing chest presses with her dog while laying on her massage table, I think it is, or some kind of a physical fitness table. All right. Sitting up tall, we'll cross the knee over. Let's take a twist. I'm twisting to the right, and I'm going to use my muscles in my torso to twist. So I'm not using my hands to twist my body, my arms to twist my body. I'm really hugging those muscles, protecting my back. And slow return to center. Switching it up, left ankle over the right knee. Finding what feels best here, maybe a little massage on the way. And this hip stretch always gets me. I always need it. Right, so reaching my heart forward, finding my hip stretch just for a moment longer. And then we can move to our twist on the other side. So twisting to the left if you haven't already gone there. And if you have, you can make any other movements. All right, coming back to center. And actually to close today, rather than recline, I think we'll just do a little bit of eye care. A lot of Waldenstrom's friends have things happening with their eyes. So if you have glasses on, you could take your glasses off. And we're going to rub the hands together and just infuse your hands with care, kindness, that you're going to point towards yourself, directing this kindness towards yourself, and just cupping the palms over the eyes. Can we spend 5 breaths just drinking this in? Rolling the eyes around. Maybe giving ourselves permission to take a little nap later. If you want, you could really just massage a part of the face like the brow or the temple or the jaw. Kind of come back gently and slowly. And then coming up to sit, and just for a moment noticing that you are not alone in this Waldenstrom's community. We are all connected and we share this rare diagnosis. So being in this space in and of itself is therapeutic. So I'd like to thank you so much for taking a little bit of time with me today. And I would like you to also just sort of notice what your energy levels are like after this session. You know, whether you feel like really exhausted and you need to take a nap, or maybe you feel energized and you want to cross something off, one thing off your to-do list. That could be something really simple like washing the dishes. So thanks, guys. We'll hope to see you on Monday for chair yoga. And then next Friday, we'll have a sound meditation. So stay tuned. We have some really fun stuff happening in December that I will tell you more about soon.